Hi, I'm Juliet. I've been living in Korea for a year and a half to do my MBA, and here's how much I spend in a month. I'll be breaking down into a few categories like MBA fees, rent, utilities, phone plan, transportation, groceries, going out, beauty, enrichment, and hopefully this will be helpful for anyone who's thinking of moving to Korea. But I just need to share some background in that I am from Singapore. I would say I'm upper middle class. I've had 3 years of working experience, so I have some no savings. So I ain't gonna be leading that broke student life, but also I'm kind of a cheapskate, so there are a lot of illogical decisions in my life. So don't take advice from me, just take the facts from me. So the very first thing we have to talk about is definitely how much school fees are, and I'm doing the Yonsei MBA program, which is 1.5 years, 3 semesters, and it's around 15 million won per semester, which makes up 45 million won for the whole thing. And that's roughly, I would say, 40,000 US dollars in total. They typically will give you scholarships if you do well. I thankfully got quite a bit of scholarships. So initially I only got 20%, which is around 3 million won. And after I did super duper well after the first semester, I've been getting 10 million won of scholarship. So work hard and you get your reward. Okay, so next on the list is rent, utilities, maintenance fees, all of that. So how Korea rental system kind of works is that you usually have to give a deposit called 보증금, 월세, which is monthly rent, then 관리비, maintenance fee, and just utilities afterwards. So usually online you see how it's listed. Let's say in this app 직방, where you can find listings, it would be 1,000/100, and that means 1,000만, which is around 10 million won of deposit, and 100 means 100만 won, which is around 1 million won monthly rental. And around the Ide, Yonsei area, that's usually the price for a new office tel. Of course, it can go lower if you're willing to go for a villa with no lift and all of that. But you also have to take note of 관리비, which is maintenance fees, and it's also a monthly thing as well. Usually, it ranges from around 50,000 won to even 200,000 won. And plug myself, you can check out this house hunting video here where I tried to house hunt around Ide. Then we also have to talk about monthly utilities. So there's gas, water, and electricity. But I would say roughly water, pretty okay, around 5 to 10,000 won per month. Gas, I would say 15 to 20,000 a month. Though recently mine was 50,000. I'm like, what the hell did I do? And for electricity, around 20,000 a month, depending on usage. So quite okay. And assuming you spend similar amounts to mine, you spend around 1.2 million won per month on just rent, utilities, and maintenance fees. Okay, so one side note is we have to talk about how do you make a bank account, and basically you need your residence card to make a bank account. You can also just use your passport and your visa, but it's a bit more tedious than that. You can't do online bank. And please sign up for Face ID verification. If not, every time you do a bank transfer, you have to use this set of random number codes to verify yourself. It's called 안전보호카드. So sign up for Face ID when you go there. We've already solved all the big ticket items, and now let's talk about phone plans, which I didn't really think much beforehand. I didn't expect phone plans to be so expensive in Korea. I think the typical one of SKKT LG is 60,000 won per month, but of course you get really good deals 100 gig and all of that. But we were recommended a more cheaper version. It's called Pon. I get mine for 25,000 or 30,000 won per month, and you get not bad. I mean, it's not amazing, 15 gig a month with phone calls and messages. And honestly, because there's Wi-Fi almost everywhere, I think that's more than enough for me. Oh yeah, so I went to Uri Mobile at Shinchon, and they're pretty good. Service is fast and they help you port over pretty quickly. And speaking of phone plans, you also got to budget in your phone plan for your local number, so your home country number. So what I did was that I got the cheapest plan possible. I think it was $5 a month, and I got the eSIM version of that. And then when I get my actual SIM card in Korea, that I can have both numbers at the same time. So that's a huge plus. I know some friends who have used 2 phones and change over. Just get one eSIM, one physical card. And that's for phone plans. Easy. Next item is transportation. So for transportation, if you have a bank account, they will give you both a check card or a debit card and a credit card, but usually that credit card is used a bit more for transportation. It's called 교통신용카드. So for that one, you don't need to top it up like a T-money card. You can literally just tap it and they'll deduct it from your bank account every month. That is very useful. But my biggest pro tip is for you to get the climate card. I have the climate card here. this climate card. 기후 동행 카드. And basically, it is around, I think, 55,000 won for youth, like younger people below 39 years old. It's unlimited rides, on buses and on trains. Of course, like, I don't think it includes the KTX. It doesn't include the airport buses, so do look into that. And it's only within Seoul. I almost tried to use this in Pohang. Luckily, I didn't embarrass myself. So imagine one ride, it's usually around 1,200 won. And I calculated that if you take 2 trips a day, for even just weekdays alone, you would already be spending way more than 55,000 won. So I highly recommend. But if you're going to school and you live near school like I did, which I was mostly walking, so then a climate card doesn't make as much sense. So use your normal transportation card to kind of like get a sensing of how much you spend per month, and then you decide whether you want to get the climate card. But of course, I don't only take public transportation. I sometimes take taxis, and there's 3 apps. There's Kakao Taxi, Uber, and also Tada. Kakao Taxi is the most frequent and usually the cheapest, but I just carry all 3 just in case. And usually rides are quite okay. They're usually like 7,000 for near distance. I think from Gangnam to Hongdae would cost around 20,000 to 25,000 won. So I think quite affordable. And for me, I usually only take taxis maybe 4 to 5 times a month. So I probably spend like 50 to 60,000 won per month on taxi, which I'm trying to reduce. Side note, for transportation, if you want to go to the airport, I highly recommend for you to take the airport bus. If you live near the Airport Express Railroad, Konghangcheoldo, like if you live in Hongdae, then just take the train. But I live in Ide, so it's a bit like I have to transfer. And what I realized that taking the airport bus is luxury. I feel like I'm taking a taxi, but it's cheaper. So it's 17,000 won per trip. You get to your place just in time, and your luggage is all just stowed underneath the bus, and you don't need to take it out yourself. The bus driver would help you with all of the luggage. So highly recommend. And they come every 15 minutes, which is not bad. Like, it's not too bad. So next is like food, groceries. Firstly, I think delivery is a pretty good option in Korea. It's quite affordable. Your minimum order can usually be like 6,000 won, 10,000 won. There's so many apps, but main ones I think is Coupang Eats and Paymin. I personally use Coupang Eats because there's the English option, so it's a lot easier. But I know there are a lot more options in Paymin. I personally don't order delivery unless I have like friends coming over. Okay, so then we talk about groceries. So there are different ways you can buy groceries. One is at local marts. One is at bigger markets like No Brand or like High Mart, Home Plus. And then there's also Coupang online where they have this thing called Rocket Fresh where they would deliver the next day before 7 a.m. if you buy it before midnight. It is very convenient. For me, I try not to buy Coupang too much. I try to buy at the local marts the most because they are cheaper, and it's very convenient. Do note that big marts close every certain Sunday of the month to promote businesses, smaller, medium businesses. So take note of the opening hours. So on topic of like food, let's talk about like going out. How much does it cost, right? So if you want to get like a simple meal from like Kimbap Cheongguk or like school meals, they can be around like 5,000 to 6,000 won. Of course, if you want to go to a slightly nicer restaurant with a set meal or something, it can still be quite affordable, around 10,000 to 15,000 won. Of course, if you want to go into like Korean barbecue and some soju, it goes into like 15,000 to 20,000 to 25,000 won. My guilty pleasure is gopchang, and that shit's expensive. It's like, I think I spent 30,000 won per meal on that. Yeah. And if you want to go for like wine nights and like bars and stuff, then of course you're going to break the bank. So I would spend like around 60,000 per night when I, let's say, go to like a nice restaurant with wine and stuff. But that's usually like once a month. So depending on your budget, you can use that as reference. So personally, for me, I mostly cook and eat cheap meals. I would say that every other day I will be eating at least one meal outside because usually I'm with friends. And then I would say once or twice a month, I would really like go ham. So that leaves it about, I'll spend around like 380 to like 500,000 won a month on like food going out, including groceries and stuff, which is actually quite good because I'm not skimping. Like I literally enjoy myself. So Okay, so the next category I want to talk about is beauty. And I think everyone is kind of different in what they include in this bucket, but for me, it's mostly like hair, cosmetics, skincare, and if you choose to go to like skin clinics and stuff like that. So for me, I go do my hair every quarter of a year, and it usually costs me around like 200,000 won to like dye my hair and cut it, or dye my hair and like perm it, which is what I'm gonna do. Another thing I buy is also lenses. So I have astigmatism, so I can't really buy like the ones off the shelf. So I need like special prescription. But then on times when I'm not like using my laptop all the time, I'll just buy those cheap ones from Olen. So this is 1+1 and it's 10,000 won for 4. Isn't that amazing? So I can use it for 2 months basically. And I mean, beauty health related is also the dentist. So if you are a resident in Korea, you get national insurance, and that is life-saving. Like, healthcare is so much cheaper, and you get 1 free scaling or 1 free like cleaning of your teeth per year. And a wisdom tooth surgery is like 150,000 won for one side. I'm like, in Singapore it's like $1,000. Okay, assuming I go private. I know it's cheaper if I do public, but in Korea you can go to any clinic and it's 150,000, around that range. I'm like, and I have to talk about health insurance. So as a visa holder, you would be automatically subscribed to their national health insurance. As a student with a D2 visa, I will be paying around 75,000 won per month, which is quite affordable given that like it makes your medicine, your doctor visits, your dentist visits so much cheaper. On average, I would spend like maybe 15 to 20,000 per doctor's appointment, and around like 5 to 6,000 won on medicine, like 5 to 5 days worth of medicine. So you can choose to opt out, but I would say just go for it, because at least as a student it's cheaper. But I know if you like change your visa status to D10 or E7 or whatever, it gets higher, so take note of that. And then we go into a bit more like enrichment, like stuff, for example, like dance classes, yoga classes, lessons that you want to take. I dance, and classes in Korea, like an open class, is around 30,000 won per class, and they're not cheap, but I mean, it supports the industry, right? I'm also recently taking DJ lessons, and it's around 240,000 for 4 lessons, but it's 2 hours each, and it just feels great to be learning a new skill. So I recommend you to download this app called Sumgo, and basically it's where you can find services of any kind, like plumbing, interior design, someone to move your house, or like chimney, like hobbies. So I found this DJ instructor from the app, and highly recommend. It's pretty easy, even though a bit daunting to use. They're really aggressive with their marketing. Finally, we go to the last category, which is my favorite, like concerts, festivals, traveling. So this is just basically all your extra fun stuff that you can do in Korea. Again, it really depends on your preferences and what you enjoy doing. For me, I really like going to concerts and festivals. As festivals especially, the prices usually are around like 90 to 130,000 won per ticket, depending on which area. And next, for festivals, I went to Hip Hop Playa, Water Bomb Seoul, Psy Summer Swag, which are around the range of like 130,000 won. They're really strict about like verification. So basically, you have to be the one attending. When you get your ticket, they would check your ID. So this to prevent like resale and like transfer of tickets and stuff. I usually use Melon Ticket to buy it because it's pretty straightforward. And also, one of my favorite experiences was Akaraka, which is like a Yonsei music festival thing, and it's pretty cheap at 30,000. But the things that you have to literally like bid for it, it's tough. But there are also so many like free festivals along the streets in like the university, so just look out for that. And next we go to traveling. So I've been to so many cities in the past 1.5 years. My bank account does not look pretty. Like, I think I don't spend that much on the usual basis, but I spend a lot on travel. When you go around Korea, KTX is your best bet, but it's around like 56,000 won per trip. If you go to Jeju, you would usually fly, and that's around like 50,000 won to 80,000 won. And then let's say if you want a short trip to a nearby city like Fukuoka, Tokyo, Taipei, those are around 2 to 3 hours of flight, and it's around 200 to 400,000 won depending on the dates. But I would say these are areas that you can really travel around in from Seoul. And finally, I would say that if you want to drive in Korea, especially as a foreigner, you can really look at Lotte Rent-A-Car. They are quite foreigner friendly, and they have very good insurance, so that like even if you bump the car a little bit, or like I haven't gotten into an accident, but they won't really care about scratches at all because it's baked into the price. But it's not that cheap. Usually like the cheapest sedan, like K5, for 24 hours is around 110,000 won. Please do note that they have a few tiers for insurance. If you're below 26 years old, pay way more, like up to 70,000. And then if you're below 30, you also pay another extra fee. So I'm like 27, 28, so I'm in that middle tier. Not too bad, but not great. So just factor that into your budget. But I would say very doable, very easy. You book it in advance and just pick it up, drop it off. And so this is all I can think about how much I spend in Korea. I think there might be some other things I'm missing out, but for now, I hope this helps, and to the next video. Bye.